Carolyn is a professor of environmental studies at Bates. So,
Thank you. It's a really Batesy lineup for starting us off. So, I lead a pretty quiet life here in Lewiston. I teach my classes, I come to the corner, and then because I'm a visiting professor, when I go home, I fill out job applications. I'll sit at my chair in the kitchen and I'll do job applications. And then when I can't stand to be in the chair anymore for a change of scenery, I'll sit in my bed and do job applications until I fall asleep under my laptop. Fortunately, although this is my life, I'm not living it alone because my lovely husband agreed that I could have the dog this year, which is partly because he's a wonderful human being and partly self-interested because the dog is a border collie, and the border collie and I run about 1,200 miles a year together. And Dan doesn't run. And living in an apartment with an unexercised border collie is sort of like living with a malfunctioning burglar alarm that goes off at all hours, but also rifles your cabinets, steals your trash, surfs your counters, jumps on your dining room table, and has an endless appetite for fetch. So I try to be a very faithful winter runner, but winter running is hard. So this winter I've been leaning a lot on ski-joring. And if you don't know, ski-joring is one of these sports or modes of transit invented in some kind of desperate northern country where, like Maine, they understand the things that long winters and short hours of daylight can drive a person to. So basically you take your cross-country skis and you take a harness and you harness up whatever animal you have available, whether that's a caribou or a horse or a crazed border collie. So last Saturday morning, I got up early and I knew it was going to melt, and I was worried that the snow would melt and get like sticky and be slow, and maybe this is like the last weekend I'll be able to ski because all the snow will melt at once. That would be awful, right? And so I go over to Mount Appetite in Auburn, and it's like 7 in the morning and it's like 9 degrees out, and we start up that sort of first hill, and as the hill starts to level off and get very gentle, the border collie and I have this realization at the same moment that there's really no friction under these skis. And he can just run as fast as he wants. And for once, I can keep up with him. And so as the tears are like streaming out of both sides of my eyes, as I'm like catching my skis in like snowmobile track grooves and like doing the splits, like going uphill, I'm starting to think maybe I've erred in making sure I get here while it's only 9 degrees out and the trails are pure ice. But, you know, we ski around and we have a nice ski. There's this beautiful ridge at the top of the park. And then it kind of gets to be time to head back down that very large hill toward the parking area. And, you know, my dog, like any good harness dog, he knows 3 commands. He knows gee, he knows haw, and he knows work. And that's because Gary Paulson taught me that real mushers don't say mush, they say work. But you notice there's no stop. And even if there was, it wouldn't help, because this dog's love of speed and pure physical exertion is so great that if there was a command for stop, he would disobey it. So this is what we're equipped with as we're facing that kind of last downhill toward the parking lot. It's just sort of me behind him with my skis in a V, digging in and praying I don't meet a snowmobile coming up, and just trying to hold myself back because this is really, really fast, and you're out there and you're thinking, what was I thinking? Why am I doing this? I am going to fall and break all of my limbs. And you are trying to hold it, and the skis are starting to shake and jump around. And why am I doing this? And you come to that moment where there is nothing left to do but just point your skis downhill and chirp to the dog to ask him to run just a little bit faster so that you don't accidentally run him over. And then it finally flashes through my head why I'm doing this. It's because I don't have to. Thank you.